Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So we had a very interesting piece of news come out today that LeBron James' son, Bronny James, is declaring for the NBA draft. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what in the actual fuck is going on, okay? Because LeBron James has done this thing over the past year where, you know, he wants to have his cake and eat it too, right? Like, he's had moments where he's made comments saying that, you know, Bronny James is a better basketball player than some of the players in the NBA right now. Then, on the other hand, when Bronny James plays at USC and is struggling mightily, I might add, he comes out and then says things like, why can't you just let the kid play ball? Well, the fact is, LeBron James, you haven't even let your son play ball. And I can't help but feel this way, and I apologize to anyone that may be a LeBron fan when you see this video, but I feel like LeBron James's aspirations to play basketball with his son on the professional level is going to sabotage his son's career, okay, if he's going to have one, okay? And the reason I say that is because there's so many issues right now with this whole thing. The first being that Bronny James is clearly not ready to play in the NBA, regardless of whatever the fuck LeBron James says. I don't care if he's y'all GOAT or whatever the fuck he is, okay? Anybody who's watched a USC game this year will tell you that Bronny James is not an NBA ready level player, okay? He may be an NBA level defender, and he has a very high IQ when it comes to the game, but when it comes to scoring, when it comes to shooting, I'm sorry, it's not it's not there, okay? He's averaging 5 points a game for USC. He played 20 minutes a game. He shot 27% from three, 36% from the field, and this is a guy that we're pushing into the NBA. Now, there is a bright side to this for Bronny, but the thing is, right, I feel like Bronny should spend another year in college. I think everybody who's watched him play can say, like, yeah, you know what, he needs another year in college, especially when he missed the first 8 games of the season because of his heart condition, right? And I'm gonna be honest, okay, it's not a money move. Like declaring for the NBA draft is clearly not a money move for Bronny James because his father's a fucking billionaire, okay? It's just the idea. Bronny James has a heart condition. I am shocked he's even still playing basketball. Because I'm just going to keep it a buck with you guys, okay? As much as I like basketball, if I had a medical condition, right, that I could potentially die from, if I don't take it easy, if I don't take it seriously, and I keep playing basketball, right, I would probably give up the sport. And not only is that going to affect his draft stock, okay, but also he's not playing well. Like, this is a player that, I'm gonna be honest, should play another year in college simply for the fact that we should be able to see if he can play 30 minutes a game, 35, 32 minutes a game, something like that. You know, like let's do that, right? Like, he's playing 20 minutes a game. I think there's 2 halves in college basketball, right? I think it's 2 15-minute quarters. Like, let's just let him play to see if he can play 25, 30 minutes a night. Like, let's just see, you know? Like, I know that sucks because, like, it's sounding kind of like, okay, let's see if he goes out there and has, see if he has an issue, which sucks to say it that way, but, like, I feel like a lot of NBA teams, when you're going to be playing 40 minutes a game, you know, you don't want to draft a player that's maybe only limited to 20 minutes, you know? So, that's the one side of it. However, on the other side, I do have to say this. The Lakers are in a position where they could bring back LeBron James by simply drafting Bronny James with a second-round pick that they maybe don't give a fuck about. Because the thing is, right, Bronny James is playing so bad, and with the heart condition, there's a chance teams won't even want him. And not for nothing, but, you know, there's NBA politics involved in this as well. you're not going to want to be the team that drafts Bronny James simply just so he can't play with his father and potentially piss off Clutch Sports, okay? Like, that's the flip side of this coin. Like, this thing is kind of signed, sealed, and delivered already. To quote Paul Pierce and Keyshawn Johnson from Undisputed, they had very, very good takes on this, and I actually thought it made a lot of sense. No team wants to be known as the team in the NBA that prevented LeBron James from playing a basketball game with his son when everybody knows he's not NBA ready at the moment. And I feel like that's the reason LeBron James talked his son into declaring for the NBA draft, okay? There's no way Bronny James made this decision without consulting his father first, right? And I understand as a son myself, okay? As being someone else's son, I understand, like, you know, you want to make your father proud. You know, you spend your entire life trying to make your father proud, right? But the thing is, like, if I'm LeBron, you know, I understand my wants are to play with my son, but is this really in the best interest of my son's career? That's the thing here, because it feels an awful lot like maybe the conversation behind closed doors is that Bronny James isn't an NBA level player, and LeBron James would still like that opportunity to play with Bronny. Maybe he's not breaking that to Bronny, but I think the conversation LeBron James is probably having with his son is like, hey, like, even though you're not playing well right now, the Lakers will draft you, and no other team will draft you at the moment. But I gotta feel like that's kind of gotta be a bit demoralizing, knowing that the only team that will draft you is your father's team, and it's because your father wants you there. It's not because you're a guy that is highly sought after, and you're like a prospect they just absolutely have to have. So I don't know, man. You know, like, honestly, from a fan aspect of the game, I think it's kind of fucked up. Like, I'm just gonna call it what it is. Like, I think it's kind of fucked up. It feels like LeBron James is being selfish. That's my opinion, okay? But on the other hand, I think to myself, this might be Bronny James' only chance to play in the NBA. With the heart condition, with how he's playing at USC, you know, granted, I kind of wish he would maybe consider playing another year of college, because LeBron James could play another 5 years in the NBA if he really wanted to. Like, let's keep it a buck, okay? It's not like LeBron James absolutely has to retire at the end of next year, which if Bronny James does get drafted by the Lakers, or, you know, the Lakers sign him in free agency after he goes undrafted, is more than likely going to happen. However, I feel like it would just, you know, be a little bit more respectful and empathetic towards his son if he just said, you know what, Bronny, do what you want to do. If you want to play another year of college because you truly want to play in the NBA and you want to maybe raise your draft stock, fine, do that. I'll wait for you. But it seems like LeBron James is not willing to wait for him, and I'm not sure why. That's the other part of this to me that seems like a red flag. You know, there's been a lot of talk of LeBron James doing performance-enhancing drugs, and he hasn't even made a comment about it. There was people that came out and were like, hey, like, LeBron James is doing HGH, myself included. There's been a lot circulating around the internet recently, on YouTube specifically, that, you know, LeBron James is doing performance-enhancing drugs. There's been ESPN analysts who have been fired for insinuating it, or, you know, ousted at ESPN over it. But the fact of the matter is, it's like, it just seems a very weird that all of a sudden these allegations start coming out, and now the optics of it are that, like, LeBron James is, you know, trying to expedite Bronny James to the NBA so he can get his wish and also bow out at the time where all of this is starting to circulate. So, I don't know, man. It just, to me, like, obviously this is kind of conspiratorial, I guess, but it's just the optics of this are very, very odd. Like, I'm just gonna say that. Like, it seems awfully odd that LeBron James would prioritize playing with his son over doing what's arguably best for his son to raise his draft stock and give him a legitimate shot at being at least a decent NBA role player, you know. And I don't know, like, I don't really know how to feel about this, but I honestly, if you want my honest opinion on it, it feels like the wrong move. If I honestly believe Bronny James should play another year in college. I don't think LeBron James should be trying to, you know, have his cake and eat it too, but I get it. I get that he wants to play with his son, but something about this just feels very off. It feels very, like it just feels weird that he's rushing his son to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels awfully weird that, like, you don't have to rush him to the NBA. You can easily play another 4 to 5 years if you wanted to, at least 3 if you wanted to, but we're sitting here trying to rush his son into the NBA for whatever reason. I don't know. I know it's not about money because LeBron James has money, but it just seems awfully strange that this is what's happening now, especially after the season your son just had. Now, to be fair, we all know Bronny James isn't a 30-40 point per game scorer. Okay, like we know that off rip. He's what he is in the NBA is gonna be like maybe a knockdown 3 guy, a 3-and-D type of guy where you put him in the corner and pass him the ball and he shoots a 3 every once in a while. Bronny James is obviously not going to be what LeBron James was. But, I think the idea that you're not even going to give him the opportunity to just prove to NBA GMs that, like, he can do a little bit more than shoot 36% from the field and 27% from 3, and maybe put some more confidence in NBA GMs that, he can play more than 20 minutes per game and, he can play an entire college season. Like, these are all things that need to be considered that don't seem to be getting considered. So for that reason, I'm very conspiratorial about this. I'm very, to me, the optics on this are like, why? Why are we rushing this when we obviously don't need to? So, I don't know, man. Tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.